Do you doubt yourself? Do you feel like what you want out of life is beyond the scope of your reality? Let's go over how to overcome your limiting beliefs with the co-author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, Jack Canfield. Let's get into it. What's winning, you guys? It's Coach Cale here, back again with yet another video. Before we get started though, I would love for you to like and subscribe to this channel. There's lots of great content that's coming up that will help you with reaching whatever goals you want to do with your life. Trying to transition into life coaching has been one of the scariest and unnerving experiences I've ever gone through. Simply because I have to be vulnerable to everyone out there on the internet. And at the same time, I have to kind of give up a career that I have built up over 10 to 12 years. If I were to be completely honest, I would say that I suffer from an employee mindset. And that definitely is my biggest limiting belief. My parents are baby boomers, so for them, it's all about having that stable job and slowly climbing that corporate ladder. So you can see how my prior experiences with dealing with my parents and their expectations and also their life experience has informed how I kind of see the world. So being an entrepreneur or creating a brand around myself was never really in the realm of possibility. So if you were to think about how you grew up and how you experienced life, how many times have you thought, I can't do that, or I'm not smart enough, or I don't have enough money? So what I'm trying to say is that your limiting beliefs are based off of your prior experiences. It's a simple mental construct. So it is completely false. And you can definitely reprogram yourself to go after what you want to do or whatever you want to achieve. So let's see what Jack Canfield has to add to this conversation. And he has some excellent points on how to reprogram yourself to think differently.
Well, there's really two kinds of limiting beliefs, the ones you're aware of and the ones that are subconscious that you're not aware of. And so the first thing you got to do to change a limiting belief is become aware that you have it. And sometimes you can just see by the results you're producing, and sometimes people will tell you you've got a limiting belief. But I think the ones that are most important that really mess people up are the ones that were formed somewhere between the age of 3 and 8. And you made a decision about life, about yourself, about how smart you were, about how attractive you were, about how athletic you were, about is it safe to ask questions, is it safe to ask for what you want, all your beliefs about money, which you got from your parents usually. So I think the main thing, get to become aware of it. So
yeah, it's really important to unpack all that learned knowledge from when you were a kid. So Jack has some resources and I have some resources, and I'm going to link those down below in the video description. Feel free to use those guides to unpack a lot of that early baggage that you may have. Of course, you can use a therapist as well to achieve similar results, but we're here right now, so feel free to use it.
If you're aware of it, then the next thing you have to do is say, what is the opposite of that belief? What's a more empowering belief? Because your limiting beliefs are keeping you down. What would be a belief that would empower me to go for my dreams, to believe in myself, to take the action I need to take? If the belief is unconscious, then we have to do an exercise, one that we teach in our trainings and I do online for people a couple times a year. I have people just get on the phone with me, then like 1,000 people at a time sometimes, and I take people through this limiting belief exercise. I'll give you a little distillate of it, give you an example of it. What I ask people to do is get in touch with what's something you want that you're not able to create, someplace where you feel stuck. Then close your eyes. Notice how you feel when you think about not being able to create that, and then scan your body and notice what you're feeling. Where there's the greatest level of pain, tension, or numbness. And for me, the first time I did this exercise, it was a bar across my back, like a 2x4 of tension. And then I ask you to look inside that, to really get in touch with the sensation that you're experiencing. How wide is it? How thick is it? What color? All that kind of stuff. And then inside that, there's a feeling, because that pain is shutting down on a feeling. Then ride that sensation, that feeling back to the last time you can remember having that. And almost everyone goes back to ages 3 to 8, sometimes 11 years old, whatever. So then what happens is you get to see where you are, who you're with, what was happening that made you make a decision that is somehow still limiting you. So I'll give you an example. I was working with a woman that won a free coaching session with me, and she was in England. And she came on the phone and she said, great, I'm looking for this. I said, what do you want to work on? She said, I want to be more successful. I said, well, tell me how successful you are now. And she went on to describe how she was a vice president of a bank. She was on a couple boards of banks. She was talking about she had a couple consulting things she was doing. She was planning her own wedding without a wedding planner. I mean, just way overamped. And I said, what I want to do is help you figure out why you're so overcommitted rather than how to be more successful. Would you be willing to do that? She said yes. So I took her through the process I just described. She ends up back, she's 5 years old in the kitchen, and her father says, this was a recession going on in England, said, I don't think we're going to have enough money to feed all the children. He was just blowing off steam. And she's 5 years old. She doesn't know it's not real. So she figures, I want to be one of the kids that survives. I want to be one of the ones he feeds, because there were a number of kids in the family. So she decided, I'm going to be perfect. I'm going to be clean. I'm never going to get dirty. I'm going to never mess up my room. I'm going to be a good little girl. I'm going to get good grades in school, everything like that. Now she's in her 40s. She's still operating from this belief that if she doesn't do everything perfectly and overachieve, she's going to starve to death. And so we were able to unpack that, put a new belief in that, there's enough, I'm successful the way I am, I don't have to do everything, there's always going to be enough food for me, etc. And then we went into the future, had her wise old self tell her current self some things about that. And she literally hired a wedding planner, got off one of the boards, committed to some of the, renegotiated her contract with the bank, and led a much more balanced life. And so, but I think the main thing is know that you have a limiting belief. What's the opposite? And once you have the opposite, create an affirmation for that belief. I am smart enough to do anything I want. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly under the grace of God. Whatever you want to say, it's the opposite of, money doesn't grow on trees, or you can never have what you want. And, I can have everything I want. Money's not the root of all evil. Money's the root of all philanthropy.
I don't believe in affirmations in the sense that the universe will magically give you things for doing absolutely nothing. But at the same time, I feel like affirmations are a great tool to reprogram your brain and your beliefs.
So we create the opposite and we put it in through repetition. That becomes the new belief. And then we are no longer affected by the old one.
Well, I hope that you use the resources that I have linked down below in the video description. If you've enjoyed this video and you want more of this type of content, feel free to hit like, subscribe, and that beautiful notification button. And there's lots of great content coming that will help you through whatever you're going through. All right, and till next time, let's be better.